I've never seen a day and an hour when folks get more mad at the preacher because the preacher, all he's trying to do is trying to tell you how to get from earth to glory and trying to preach to you of how to stay saved and stay in your right mind. And we get more mad at the preacher because he tells us what to do. But you have to understand, God is saying you can try this thing by yourself or you can just go ahead and give it to me. If you really want to live, you can. We got the big idea one time we were going to buy an elliptical from Walmart. You know one of them things you get on? I made up my mind I was going to get one of them. I put that thing together. It squeaks and it don't even work half the right because I tried to do it by myself. You know what happens sometimes to us? We spend more time by the time we get through working on something. Our nerves are shot. We're twiddling our thumbs and we're trying to pop a pill to get our mind satisfied because we're so bent out of shape because we've tried to do it on our own for so long. But I'm here to tell you, I've already made up my mind. I cannot do it. I cannot make it happen. I can't make a revival birth. I can't do, but I do know the one who can. I know the one that said, if you'll turn it over to me, I'll take care of it. I'll work it out for your good. I said all things work together for the good of them that love God and who are called according to his purpose. My independent thinking gets me more in trouble. My thinking of thinking that I can do this by myself gets me in more trouble, and it affects all that are around me because my nature says I don't need no help. I don't need anybody. I can fix this problem by myself. But when you come to the house of God and all of a sudden there's something that gets in you and you realize when you've been fighting the same battle for 10 years and you've been going through the same mess for the last 6 months and you can't get relief, and ain't nothing wrong with coming back to God with the same prayers and the same problems. But I'm here to tell you there's a problem when we've been fighting the same battle for 30 years and can't get victory over it. When we're fighting the same mess, we're going through the same situations and we can't ever get victory. We can't get joy. We can't get peace. We can't get contentment. We have more trouble and we come with the same problems, the same fight. We're getting in the prayer line for the same old thing. And I'm not talking about just pray once and then just forget about it. I'm talking about there's some things in our life that if we don't lay down and our independent thinking of thinking that we have the means within ourselves, we'll live the rest of our life and we'll live so confused and so messed up and so bent out of shape that we'll never be able to be purposeful to the kingdom of God. But I'm here to tell you, if we'll ever get a heart and a mind to get after God and saying, Lord, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how I got to where I am. I just woke up and I was here. I don't even know how I got from point A unto point B. But all that matters is, Lord, when I finally come to myself, shake myself to my senses and realize that if God before me, who cares if anybody else is against me? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know what to say. But I say, lead me, Jesus. I take your hand. You guide my footsteps. You take care of it. I'm talking about somebody who'll take you farther than you ever dreamed or imagined that you could ever go. Just by giving it to him. Isn't that sound so simple? Just to lay it down and walk away from it. There's something within us that Jesus put in the mind of his disciples when he said this. He said this. Jesus said, if any man will come after me. I could stop right there and preach for another hour. But he said, if any man will come after me. We're after everybody else's opinion. We're after everybody else's pat on the back. We're after everybody else's good word of encouragement. But Jesus said, if you'll just come after me. Don't worry about what anybody else is saying. Don't worry about what the church down the road's doing. Don't worry about what they're saying on the job. Don't worry about even what your own family might say. He said, if any man will just come after me. He said, let him deny himself. He said, and take up his cross how many times? Daily. He said, let him take up that cross once a month. Let him take up that cross every 6 months. I don't know how you do it in Alabama, but we got a lot lot of folks, we call revival, they'll shout in. Revival's over, they'll shout out. And we don't see them till the next revival. And they shout in and they shout out. But I'm here to tell you, Jesus said, if any man will come after me, he said, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. I'll tell you one thing. We got an image in a mind of what that cross of Calvary is supposed to be. We think, oh, it's so pretty. And it's so, we decorate that cross up and we make it out to be an emblem of beauty. But I want you to know something about that cross of Calvary. That cross was the most gruesome and the most bloodshed and the most gory type of a scene that you could ever imagine or ever see in your life. And so Jesus tells us that if you're going to follow me, he said you're going to take that cross up every day and you're going to follow me. How many knows what a cross is really for? A cross is for crucifixion. You know what that means? That means if every day I'm packing that cross around, we just pack it around thinking, oh, well, I got the world by the tail. But you know what Jesus is really saying? He's saying there's some point in that day you're going to have to lay that cross down. You can pack that thing around all day, but there comes a point you lay that cross down. He said you're going to have to get on that thing and there's going to have to something die in you. That cross was meant for a crucifixion. You lay down on that cross. There's something in me that dies when I'm laying on that cross. There's something in me that when I lay down, all of a sudden there's a part of me that dies. But you have to know that if there's going to be a death in me, there's always a resurrection that comes back after the cross. Are you hearing what I'm saying? I lay me down, but there's a Jesus that gets up after the cross. For me to live is Christ, and for me to die is gain. Oh, somebody give him praise in this house. When I lay down on that cross, how many knows everything Jesus did was for an example for me and you? Jesus' flesh died on that cross. My flesh has got to die on that cross. You hear what I'm saying? When my flesh dies on that cross, what do you do with something that's dead? Oh, we're Pentecost folks. We resurrect it. We don't bury it. You hear what I'm saying? If there's a part of me that dies, you don't bury it. There's something every time a part of me dies, there's a resurrection and life that's inside of me. Every time there's something about me that dies, there's a part of the revelation of God that lives. Every time my nature dies, his characteristic comes out of me. Every time there's something in me that I can lay down, I have a third morning resurrection that comes out of the tomb saying, I seek ye the living here among the dead. If you're looking for Jesus, you come looking for a dead Jesus, but the Jesus I come to tell you, he is not here. He is alive. I said he's alive. Christ in me, the hope of glory.